Hello there, and welcome to this video that looks at what one person is doing to help preserve the evolution of Chrysler during the 1980s. That person is me. Come on over and have a seat. Alright, to begin with, this video and subsequent videos are being made in an attempt to help people understand just what Chrysler had to offer during the 80s, more specifically the K-Car lineup. You see, most people think that there were only two models, the Plymouth Reliant and the Dodge Aries. That is actually not the case. Thinking back, I can remember the advertisements on TV, the K-Cars are coming, the K-Cars are coming. And as a kid, that slogan didn't mean very much to me. But as the years rolled by, I found myself engulfed in K-Car appreciation, most likely brought on because my folks had 6 of them while I was growing up. To make a long story short, I genuinely appreciated them for what they were. They were a good, reliable means of transportation, cheap to purchase, and fuel efficient since they only ever sported the 4-cylinder engines, the most common being the ever-famous 2.2 liter. It seems to me that, as a teenager, anytime I took one of the K-Cars for a drive, I always fell victim to jokes and prods from my friends about how I was driving a tin can or a worthless piece of junk. I always begged to differ, but my defenses fell on deaf ears. However, I never lost my respect for those cars, and I watched as they slowly became more and more scarce over the years. Now here's a piece of trivia for you. Did you know that the K-Car was the fastest selling car of all time? I don't doubt it, because not very many people were paying attention to K-Cars, especially as 1990 rolled around and they were being phased out. Right around Christmas in 1992, my family and I were driving through New York City on our way to Florida, and I noticed that at least 1 out of every 4 cars was a K-Car. Now that definitely says something. And you know what's funny? I still hear people saying things like, "There's tons of K-Cars on the road." Well, no, actually there isn't. A lot of them got swept up by cab companies to be driven until they couldn't be driven anymore, and others kept changing possession until they ended up in one of those not-so-pleasant places, the junkyards. But lately there's been an uprising going on in the background, and especially on the internet. Slowly, small groups of K-Car lovers are emerging, along with folks that appreciated other 80s Chryslers such as the Daytona Lasers, the New Yorkers, and the other K-Car types that not a lot of people remember, the LeBaron lineup and the even more scarce Dodge 400-600 series. Now, there were body-style derivatives within those 2 more luxurious and sporty versions, which included the New Yorker E-body platform as well as the convertible CV body platform. So, if a collector came along and wanted to find a rare K-Car, what would they look for? Was there any neat optional equipment that would draw someone's attention? And what about sports and drop-top features? On a K-Car, you say? You'd be surprised. Well, enough talk. It's time to take a little stroll down memory lane and see not only some old cars that were almost forgotten, but to dive into some top-of-the-line models that you probably didn't know existed. Check out my other videos and see what Chrysler had to offer back in the 80s. I'm K-Man Pete, and I have a collection of K-Cars. Let's go have a look.